Okay, I'm back. Just to recap for you guys, part one, I basically announced that my newest collection venture, if you will, is indeed this. And like I was saying, at the end, just because I don't watch it, just like I don't watch Nickelodeon's TMNT show, doesn't mean I don't still collect them. It's out of nostalgic reasons, and that's why a lot of people collect. Basically, they collect out of nostalgic reasons. They don't always collect because, oh, I gotta have this, I gotta have that, I gotta have this, I gotta have that. No, they collect out of nostalgic reasons, and they like the references, the homages they pay, they pay towards the show, towards the character, towards the past. I mean, you take a look at MLP. They pay tribute to the G1 series with the season 4 finale and the villain they brought there. So it kind of tells you they want to take things a little bit more serious with the show. But that shows you they're paying an homage to it. Now, like I said, does that mean people who watch the show can have to collect this? Have to, does that mean that people that collect the stuff have to watch the show constantly? No. I've read somewhere that people, will collect Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Ranger figures, and they don't watch the new Power Rangers. They just collect them for nostalgic reasons. You know, I think there's somebody I read online that they'll collect something like MLP, but they don't watch the show. Or there's somebody that will collect what is it? What will they collect? Monster High or Ever After or Barbie, and they don't watch anything related to them. They just collect them for collector's sake and for nostalgic reasons. For nostalgic reasons, and that's crazy. That is crazy. And like I said, with me, I'm a Transformers guy. I grew up on Transformers. You know, does that mean just because I can't buy all the G1 stuff that's being reissued or being part of the Generations line, does that mean, you know, I'm going to stop being a fan? No, it doesn't mean that. Does it mean I'm going to watch the new stuff because that's the only reason I want to collect the stuff? No, I collect the stuff out of nostalgic reasons. And even though, like I said in the first video, it took me 7.5 to almost 8 years now to kind of start reestablishing the fact that I'm gonna probably once in a while do the MLP collecting. It doesn't mean I'm gonna watch the show. Doesn't mean I might record an episode here and there if I hear it's good. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not afraid to admit that. Hey, I have saved the show and its two spin-off movies on my Netflix queue. And why? Because, hey, maybe out of curiosity I might watch them just to see what all the fuss is about. Because, like I said, there are elements about these shows that you can like. With the MLP, like I said, here's another one. You have Dragon Quest. You have at the, towards the end of the episode, you have Twilight, Rainbow Dash, and Rarity standing up for Spike, getting ready to fight. And you have Rarity kind of like calmly say, fighting not her style, kind of, in her own unique Rarity Ray, kind of saying fighting's not her style. But then she gets real mean and tough and says, but and as she says that, but all of a sudden she does a complete 180 by saying she'll rip these dragons to pieces if they touch one scale on Spike's head. Like, go figure. It's like, go figure. But again, another thing that proves to me that you don't have to, be a fan constantly to collect, or even if you watch the show, doesn't mean you have to be ashamed of it. I was listening to a podcast, and these three guys that were on this podcast, were normal sounding guys. I listened to something that, and this was the first episode of the podcast, and they were talking about the 2017 movie. And then before that, I listened to what Buck Reviewer had to say. And he sounded like a normal individual. So it doesn't matter if you like something or not. That's your choice. But like I said, you don't have to always watch something to collect something. Or you don't always have to collect something to watch something. You only do it for nostalgic reasons. Even if it's not your cup of tea. Like I said, with Ninja Turtles, I collect the figures, but I don't watch the series because the series, in a sense, is not my cup of tea. I've said it constantly, time after time after time. I'm not used to seeing characters like April, Casey, and Karai as teenagers. I'm not. Like I said, I'm not used to seeing Casey, Karai, and April as teenagers. Or even Irma, even though she was a Krang in disguise. I'm not used to seeing that. And I'm not used to seeing sometimes the characters get altered just because, the writers feel, hey, it makes it more intriguing. I mean, I understand I understand this show is supposed to be an expansion of the other Ninja Turtle worlds out there, other Ninja Turtle universes. I get that. I understand that. I get that. But the thing is, to me, it's more about the fact that there are certain elements I'm okay with, but a lot of elements I'm not okay with. I mean, like, what was the point of making April half mutant? You basically made her like a Jean Grey character. That's all you did. So, I mean, there are some things. I mean, I like the fact that they're bringing in Bebop and Rocksteady in their own unique way. Heck, I have the figures of those already. I like the fact that, they're doing that, but I like the fact that they're bringing them in, but they're bringing them in a different way. But again, that's one thing I like about it, because that's one thing that if I was to watch the show, I want to see how they would portray Bebop and Rocksteady here. That would be the only reason. But again, there are certain elements about it. Like I said, April being sort of like the Jean Grey of the show doesn't make sense to me. Why couldn't you just keep her normal? Doesn't make sense. Making Irma a Krang the whole time. What sense does that make unless you're planning to bring the real Irma in later on and reveal that she was kidnapped and turned into a Krang monster as a test subject or something? What was the point? Again, there are just some things I'm okay with, some references, acknowledgments, characters that they bring in and reference and all that. That's fine, but it's like, what's the point of doing all these other different things? I mean, here you take Karai, who for most of the 2003 to 2009 series, which I was a fan of and I liked, because it was darker and it had a darker element and all that, and it tried to have some homages to the original series. Why would you take an established character like that from that show, as well as from the comics, and then say, okay, not only are we going to make her a teenager, not only are we going to make her a potential love interest of Leonardo, not only are we going to make it revealed that she's actually Splinter's daughter and not Shredder's, but let's mutate her into a freaking shape-shifting snake. What's the point of that? There's no point. There's no reason for it. Anyway, I'm getting a little off track here, but the point is, like I said, there are certain elements I like about the show and some I don't. Just like with MLP FIM. There are certain things I like and are intrigued by the show to the point that I'm finally going to start collecting every now and then some stuff. Not all the time, not like I would do with Turtles or Transformers or whatever, but sometimes in between. But again, like I said, what is the point? Point of doing certain things that you don't need to do. But like I said, like I said with MLP FIM, just like with Turtles, there are some things I find intriguing, interesting, and stuff that I like about the show and stuff. There are some interesting elements and stuff I do like about it, but there are some things I don't. I don't like the fact that you take a show like this, and even though your intentions, which are good intentions to make it an all-girls show, I don't like the fact that you just can't come out and acknowledge for once, publicly, on Discovery Channel, Discovery Family, do some sort of like a bonus feature after an episode or after the movie. After you, like, let's say, show Equestria Girls or Rainbow Rocks, do some kind of video where you acknowledge, hey, we know there are fans of all genders and all ages. We know that. I mean, heck, you have a freaking documentary about the Brony fan base, and yet you don't want to show that on Discovery Family, so at least you can show the expansion of how far this phenomenon has gone? I tell you, it's one thing. One thing about the show that I don't like. The fact that you don't want to acknowledge you have fans of all genders, fans of all ages. That's the one thing I think they need to fix. It's one thing I think they need to fix. And like I said, there are some elements I like about it, some things that are intriguing about it, that are slowly, very slowly, making me interested in probably giving the show a chance once in a while. Like I said, Nightmare Night had some funny elements, especially with Fluttershy and Twilight. You know, the Rarity Spike thing, relationship, very intriguing. I'm one of those that even though I don't watch the show, I would like to see officially become, official, canon. You know, there are some elements out of the Christmas episode. You know, you have Pinkie Pie popping out of a Rarity's Christmas tree hat. I mean, go figure. Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is just because I don't watch something all the time doesn't mean I won't collect it. And I want to end this by saying I do have two other things I want to show you. These things were on clearance at my job. Now, one of them has a little wear on it, so it might have to be taped up a little bit, but it's okay. I don't know if it was returned. I don't think it was. But it's a bit of a clearance. Both of them were $10. Well, one of them was $10. The other was $14. Surprisingly, they didn't clearance that when they should have. But just like I used to when I lived in Kansas, I do have some figures here I want to show you. And those figures are the Crystal Princess Celebration series. And that is, first of all, we have Candace. And we have, of course, Twilight. Those are the first two. Now, just because I've collected them doesn't mean I'm going to open them and all that. No. It's just like with my Transformers you see in my room. I'm going to probably put them someplace where I know they will be safe and they will not be played with. That much I can confirm. And again, I'm not afraid to say this, alright? I mean, heck, after I've watched the Story of Frozen special on demand and recorded it, and found out that you had freaking U.S. Marines cheering and going, hoorah, to Let It Go from Frozen, to the Let It Go sequence from the Frozen movie, what does that tell you? And actually cheering Elsa, she's, just letting go and being herself now. Come on. If that shows you that you have U.S. Marines that are not ashamed to do that, then I don't think I should be ashamed to say, hey, I'm going to start collecting every now and then this kind of stuff just because it intrigues me. Not because I'm a fan, but it intrigues me, and it's also because of nostalgic reasons. Believe me, that's the real reason. So, with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this two-part video. And again, like I said, just because I don't watch something, or just because somebody doesn't watch something, doesn't mean doesn't mean they can't collect something for nostalgic reasons or because it might intrigue them. It's their choice. Okay? So let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like, and I will talk to you all later. Peace out.